welcome to another video on my channel, Helki Rain. Today I want to talk about when I adopted a cat. So recently I adopted a cat. It was about a month ago. I adopted an 18-month-old cat. We're going to go over all the steps that I went through for adopting a cat because I really want to promote adopting rather than shopping from a breeder, because there's so many animals in the world that need homes already, and we don't need to be supporting breeders because this is not ethical and it's just not nice for the animals. We don't need to have pedigree pets necessarily. It's, I believe, pointless when there's already so many animals in the world that are desperate for homes and desperate for love, and they have so much love to give, like my gorgeous little kitty. I'm going to start right from the beginning when I made the decision to adopt a cat. First of all, I think it's really important that you are old enough and wise enough to adopt an animal. If you are very young, I would say even early 20s is possibly not the right time, because this is the time when you really are learning about yourself and you want to discover things for yourself. That could be traveling, and that could be trying out different career options, and this means you won't be able to commit maybe as much time as you should unless you are in a situation where you are young but you're very settled, you have a good stable job and income, and you know that you have the time to dedicate to your new fur baby. So I started thinking about having a cat for about a year before I actually made the steps to adopt a cat. I really knew that I had this, my intuition was basically telling me this was the right thing to do. It was a call for me that I wanted to bring another animal into my life, but into my home. I already have 2 horses, but obviously they don't live at home with me, which I share with my sister, and I have a family dog, Milo, and he spends time at all different members of the family house throughout the year. I had him actually with me a few weeks ago. Majority of the time he's with my mum and stepdad. I was really feeling a need for having that animal company at home. I just really love being around animals. They make me really happy, and I hope that I'm able to make them happy with all the love and care that I want to give them. I was thinking about having a cat, like I was saying, a lot in my mind, and then it was probably after about 6 months maybe I started to mention this to friends or family, saying I've been thinking a lot about having a cat, and I was really feeling drawn to this, but at the time I wasn't in a situation where I could have a cat. I did briefly look into fostering cats because the situation was I was in a 3rd floor apartment and I only had a balcony and no garden outside access. I've had cats in my family home as a child. I know that cats normally need access to the outside, and that's just, I would only ever want to offer the cat the best life they possibly could. So I was waiting for my life to get to the point where I was able to afford myself a place with a garden. The dynamic in my life has changed quite a lot. I had to move apartments to my sister's apartment because she was moving out with her partner, and we actually own this apartment. So I made the move here. Again, there is an outside space with a cat flap, but it only leads on to a rooftop garden, which is obviously no grass. I have flowers out there and stuff, but it's not exactly ideal. And even though I live in a small village, I lived above a restaurant in the village. It's not ideal for most cats, you know, they need the access to the outside. There's a lot of cars around here. My place backs onto a car park, and it's not ideal, but I made my rooftop garden with flowers and stuff, and I plan to make it even nicer. I know that I need to stay in this apartment for a while, definitely the next couple of years, to save money for my actual place and to make use of this place. I made the decision on my own because just again, I will clarify that I adopted a cat, not me with someone else, not a family cat. This is my cat, and it was the first animal I would ever be adopting by myself. Like, I have my horses with my sister, I have my dog with my family, and this would be the first time where I'm adopting and taking on the responsibility of an animal all by myself. But I'd made this decision within me. I just had such a strong calling, and I did a few meditations and visualizations where I was asking that the universe would bring me a cat that could really fit well with my lifestyle, cat that had the right energy for me doing my spiritual work, because I am doing my tarot readings a lot in my room, and I just wanted the energy just to really work well with the spiritual work that I'm doing and the cat. I wanted a cat basically that could keep me company while I'm working from home, that would genuinely enjoy being in this environment with me. That's just what I wanted to make the point of. I set an intention for the right kind of cat for me, and it's really important that you set the intention. Don't be like, what is the cat gonna be like? What if it's not a good match? What if it doesn't fit? Because whenever you bring those thoughts into your mind, you're going to bring that into your reality. So I just knew that whatever cat would come to me, I knew it would be the right match for me, because I'd set that intention with the universe, and the universe was giving me a clear sign that that was the right step for me. Here I was, I'd set my intention, and I just one day, and I'm not sure why, I just wanted to have a look for cats. So I looked on the local adoption websites, and I was looking through everyone that would be okay with a dog, because I know that sometimes I have to have my family dog about 4 times a year come stay with me. So I didn't want to stress out an adoptee cat, you know, that's already been through enough with sometimes having to live with a dog if they really are scared of or don't like dogs. Basically there was none. They all, pretty much all of them, apart from this one kitten, suggested homes without dogs. So basically I applied for this kitten, which I wasn't over the moon about. Like, I will love and give love to any animal, but I really felt like kittens get picked up really easily, get homes really easily, and I really wanted to give home to maybe an older cat or a teenage cat. Like, the second they're not a kitten anymore, they're a cat, and people aren't as interested. The other thing I had in mind is I always saw myself getting a black cat, because I know black cats and black dogs get adopted the least, and they get put to sleep the most because people don't adopt them. Maybe they don't take photographs as well, or even some people have suspicion around the black cat and be scared of them, which is crazy to me. But I wanted to take the cat that couldn't get a home, you know. Like, I didn't want to take a kitten particularly that I know could get a home so easily like that. I wanted maybe a wiser cat that would realise like about the dangers of the road where I live and stuff. I wrote in my application everything about my situation, about my rooftop garden, exactly where I lived. I did have a cat flap and access to the rooftop garden, but it was only a rooftop garden. I wasn't getting my hopes up too high, because I knew this might be a problem. One with the dog staying 4 times a year, and one with the garden not being near roads and not a proper earthy garden. I applied for this kitten. Okay, 2 days go by and I've not heard anything. The second day I was thinking a little bit like, oh, I didn't hear about the cat, you know. I was just, you know, I guess I only did apply to one place. Cat Protection was the place that I went to. I had it in my mind like, oh, I haven't heard from them. Then literally an hour, 2 hours go by, and I have a missed call on my phone, and I checked the message, and it's from the Cat Protection place, saying that she wanted to speak with me about possibly taking a different cat than the cat that I applied for. When I called back, she spoke to me about how she doesn't feel like it would be a good match for a kitten, especially outdoor cat, because of the garden situation. And obviously I'm thinking, well, all cats are outdoor cats, you know, they all need access to both. But then she went on to explain that there was one cat that she thought would be a really good match for me. He had a cat disease called FIV, and this disease is an autoimmune disease, which means he is well in himself, but he is prone to infection, and if he was to get infection or get ill, he would be a lot more at risk than the average cat because he has the low immune system. The reason that he can't go outside is because he could get injured, he could get hurt, and then his immune system is really low, so that's not great for him, and also because if he was to get into a fight with another cat and bite another cat, then he would have a chance of transmitting this disease to the other cat. Cats with FIV can live a full-length, healthy life, but they just have this autoimmune disease, you know. So the thing is that people don't want them. They don't adopt them as often as much because of this disease, and also maybe they have cats already, they don't want to spread it to, or they don't want the hassle of having to have a cat in the house all the time, or the fact that you cannot get insurance for a cat with FIV. So if he is to get sick, I am unable to get insurance for him, which really sucks. But again, I've had animals all my life, and especially with the horses, I've really learned that insurance is not always as great as it's made out to be. Now he's just using his litter box, so if you hear anything, that's what he's doing. So, said that sounds perfect actually, like it would give me less stress about worrying about him being outside with the road. I know that I'm giving a home not to a kitten that could get homed really easy, but to a cat that is really struggling to find a home already. He'd been in cat protection for over a month, which is a really long time in England. Normally they have a very quick turnover with adoptees. So I was more than happy to take on this cat, and when I asked for the name of the cat, it was another synchronicity that just told me that the universe has my back and that this is the right cat for me, like the perfect cat for me just with the name alone. So if you know that I do readings, I do spiritual work, and my main tool that I use for my readings and spiritual work is I use sage. Let's just get some in case you don't know what it is. This is sage that I use, yeah? And this is what I burn and just sage all over when doing my spiritual work. The fact that he was called sage, that sage is my main cleansing tool. It's my only real cleansing tool that I use for every time I start my work. So the fact that this cat was called Sage, and I would never even think to call any animal Sage, and it's such a cool name, and like, wow. So I was like, wow, that's really meant to be. That's definitely a sign if you ask me. So there we are. This is everything that they told me about Sage, that he was 18 months old, he had FIV, so he had to be an indoor cat. He is called Sage. He's never had a home, and that he was a street cat in London, so I imagine he just grew up on the streets and he'd never had a home. So I knew I had a big responsibility to give this cat his first home and make him feel really comfortable, loved and cherished. Like, that was my goal. I would say it's been about a month, maybe a month and a half since I adopted Sage, so I will use Sage in a little bit and let you know how he's doing now. But I'm just going to show you a quick clip now from the first day he came home, and I let him out, and it's literally the shortest clip ever, but it's just a little clip of him exploring the home. Yeah, so just have a little look. But this is the first day I got him. Ignore my big pile of washing. But look, there's Sage, my new adoptee baby. He's not sure. He's just come home now. Sagey, what are you doing? he was very nervous on this first day. He hid for the whole first day under the sofa chair thing that I have, which is like his little safe place. It's like he can go under there and he can be at peace and safe under there. So I was glad he found a safe place. I also did make a lot of other safe places, but he chose that to be his safe place when he first arrived. And then he would basically stay under there, and maybe that night he came out in the night and he did his things. He went to toilet and he ate. And then the next day I would put my hand under with treats, and just straight away he would come up, eat the treats straight from my hand. And then I felt like the trust really began there. So here's a little clip of him coming out of his safe place and that Sage playing now. As the days have gone by, things have just got so much easier with Sage. He becomes more comfortable and more loving every day. He's just the best cat that I've ever met in my life. Like, he's just everything: affectionate, loving, playful, funny. Like, he's just everything. Like, he's so amazing and I love him so much. Oh, I forgot to also say that he never was a black cat. Although, you know, I wanted a black cat literally because I just wanted to adopt the least adoptable cats. But he definitely was one of the least adoptable, with having FIV, with having never been in a home, being a street cat. And he's amazing. But he's a little tabby cat and he's so cute and he has the brightest green eyes. And I just love him so much, and I couldn't be more grateful. And I felt like I really set the right intentions for this chapter in my life, and that's just the biggest message I want to get across to you. One is obviously to adopt and not shop, but the other biggest message I wanted to get across was setting your intention. It's really wise to set the intention of this new chapter in your life and how you want it to play out. And I really did set a clear intention that I wanted a cat that would be really comfortable in my lifestyle and in my home and just work well with everything that I'm already doing here in my space. And that's exactly what I have. A really nice story I have from the other night was I was sat in my room and on my bed, and I couldn't see Sage anywhere in the room. He often sleeps on the end of my bed. I couldn't see him anywhere in the room, but I just went into my white light meditation, and as I was meditating and I was coming to the end of my meditation, and I felt nice and clear, and I opened my eyes and I looked to the side of me, and what was there? Sage. He was sat right, I didn't feel him come on the bed at all, but he was sat there right next to me. It felt like he was almost there meditating with me, and it was just the cutest thing ever. And I've been really busy lately and having a lot of life dramas and troubles. Like, man, I don't know what's going on right now with astrology or something, but it's really affecting me down here in my life for sure. But I haven't been able to do a lot of spiritual work or anything lately, so I did sit down to finally do some readings yesterday, and to see Sage's reaction was just amazing. He was just like full of light himself. After we finished the reading, he was sitting and purring on my lap whilst I was doing the reading, and he was alive, like with energy. When we finished, he was running around the house so happy, so crazy, just having the time of his life. So I really feel like he really benefits and enjoys the spiritual work with me, which makes me feel just so good and so happy for both of us. If you're worrying what that noise is now, it sounded like someone just broke in the house, but they didn't. It's my washing machine. It vibrates like crazy and turns into an earthquake in the kitchen. So everything's falling off the kitchen side because this happens whenever I want to wash clothes. But, okay. So let me just look at my notes. Notes that I just wanted to go over is I adopted, I didn't shop, and the adoption company that I chose to work with, or charity, not company, was Cat Protection, and they had an £80 fee which just goes towards the rescuing of cats and continuous rehoming of cats. So of course I was happy to pay that fee, and you can offer to donate more on top. So as soon as my income is looking a bit more how I would like, then I will definitely be making a regular donation to the Cat Protection, because I really do think these charities that rehome animals are very important, and it's very important that we utilise these charities ourselves and use them when we are looking to bring a new animal into the home. So Cat Protection, £80 fee. His name is Sage, he's 18 months old, he's a tabby cat. We've gone over this. He has FIV, he has to be a stay-at-home cat. To become friends, I really think that it's not too difficult. You should definitely feed treats from your hands to begin with. That really helps with the connection. Having like set feeding times and not free feeding, so he will have like 6 to 8 small meals a day, 2 of them being big wet meals and the rest just being little bits of crunch, because cats do like to graze, have small meals throughout the day. Like, it's not great for them to go long periods of time without eating. Just another little thing you might want to think about. I also wanted to say what I had ready for bringing Sage home. So I made sure that I had 2 litter boxes, litter to go in them of course, 3 feed bowls at least, you know, so you can at least have 2 water bowls in 2 different places in the house, just as you want 2 litter trays in 2 different places in the house. Even if you live in a small house, I live in a 1-bedroom flat, I still have 2 litter trays because it's nice for them to have the option. It's not really about how big the house is, it's just nice for the cat to have 2 options even if you live in 1 room, okay? I really recommend having more than 1 litter tray, more than 1 water bowl. I also had to get a cat carrier to bring him home in, and also for when he had to go get his vaccine done last week, I also again used the cat carrier, so it was really handy to have a cat carrier. I also had to get cat food. I just got a mix of different options, buying them individually so I could get an idea of his tastes and what he likes. It's really important that you do feed them not just dry food but also wet food, because cats are prone to getting dehydrated, so you just want to encourage them to drink, and if they don't drink a lot, definitely feed them more wet food. And I also got him a scratching pad, which is just like this, and they're really affordable. I think this one was about $8. $8? I'm English. £8 on Amazon. This is really hairy and gross because he's had it a while, but he loves this, just scratching on here. And I also sometimes sprinkle catnip in here, which he really loves. And I also got these gloves, which I really recommend, which is just like these spiky grooming gloves, and so much hair comes off in these, and he just absolutely loves being groomed with these, and he loves just being cuddled and stroked and kissed and all that stuff, which is perfect for me because I didn't realise that you could have cats, because my cats weren't like that when I was a kid. I didn't realise cats could be just so loving and want cuddles and kisses, and this cat loves cuddles and kisses, so I think I definitely manifested the perfect cat for me. And this is what I mean about setting intentions. Like, I wanted a cat that wanted to be cozy and cuddly and chill and just he is everything that I set the intention for. So again, I just can't stress enough how important it is that you set that intention. And then I also got a toy. This was my toy. I don't really want to make a noise with it because he's going to want to play. So I got this little fishy toy which he loves. And I also got a laser which he also loves too. He really likes playing with the laser. I should have really written a list of everything that I got. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was everything that I got. Another thing I also brought later was this cat tunnel, which is like this. which we play with the laser and the toys. I do push the laser and the toy. Sorry, my house is a bit messy at the moment, my bedroom, but what can I do? That's life. That's what it is. What I'll do now is I'll just put in maybe a couple of clips of him being super cute in the first few days that I got him, and just showing like how grateful and loving he was toward me, and just filled me with joy. Every moment I spend with Sage is a blessing to me. And this is another reason that I just wanted to talk quickly on about adopting older cats. He's not old, he's 18 months old, he's a year and a half, you know. He's still young, but he's not a kitten anymore. And by adopting, not kittens basically, cats not kittens, adopting, not buying, the reason I really recommend this is because you'll never know love like the love you'll get from an adopted animal. Like, that love it's so much more intense than when you just get a puppy or a kitten, because they're so grateful. They've lived life without love, without compassion. They've lived the hard times. Sage had been on the streets. He'd never had compassion and love or a home of his own. So now that he has it, he's so grateful, and he shows me every day how grateful he is and how much love he has to give me, and I'm just overwhelmed with it. It's really it's really just amazed me, to be honest, like how much an adoptive animal can show you. It's like they just really appreciate you and everything that you've done, and you really feel that, and you appreciate them back, because they bring so much joy to our lives, so much love. And whether you're adopting a kitten or a cat, if you've chose to adopt, you've done an amazing thing here. So I really hope this video has helped you guys, and that maybe it's encouraged you to either set an intention before your adoption, or even whether that's to adopt a cat with FIV, or even to adopt instead of shop. So I am going to do another video where I talk about FIV cats and what it's like having an FIV cat, and what I know so far with my experience of having one. In case you are thinking about that, or you're curious about that, do leave a comment below and let me know. If you have any cat questions to do with Sage and my adoption or FIV, then please do leave them below, and I'll make sure to get to those in my next cat video, if I do, for my next video. Yeah. So now I think it's time to meet Sage, but he's not in here anymore. He was in here most of the time that I was talking, and just as I was getting to the end, he's gone off somewhere. You're so cute. You're so cute. Sage! And the thing with cats is you can't just call them, or they're not like dogs. They got their own agenda, you know. Here he is. Hey, just been asleep. But this is my babe. Hey, Sage. He's just so cute. Sagey. I love him so much. Hey. And he is just the cutest little baby. And he's purring now. He's purring. He loves kisses. He loves treats. You're so cute. Look how cute you are. Thank you for waking up, Sage. Cat hair all over me. So that's like the new thing in my life. The new thing in my life is cat hair constantly all over me. So I really need to invest in a mega lint roll. So that's one thing I recommend maybe you should get that I didn't get. Can you see all this cat hair like literally floating? But it's worth it. Trust me, the cat hair is worth it because look at this gorgeous little kitty I have in my life. And I just couldn't be more grateful. So thanks again for watching this video and hopefully see you on my next one.